my beautiful bookish souls. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a very long time, and I'm really sad about that. So today I am here to bring you my April wrap-up and May TBRs. And to be honest, April was only marginally better than March in terms of reading. I got very distracted by a few different projects that I now have in the works, which hopefully in upcoming months I will be able to tell you about. I wish I could tell you right now, but still very much in the brainstorming phase and not really in the telling people about anything phase, but they're there and I'm very excited about them. And because of that, I haven't done much reading, and because of that, I haven't done much filming about my reading. And I do genuinely feel really sad about that because I love talking to you guys so much, and I have actually filmed a Talks with Tea video the last 2 Sundays and then taken so long to edit them because I've just had no time throughout the week that it's got to like Wednesday, and I was like, there's no point uploading this now, like it's closer to the next Sunday, and so then I've just kind of had to scrap them. And hopefully May will be a slightly better month, but let's at least have a look at the books that I finished reading and started reading and read a bit of in April. So the first book that I finished in April was Heartless. Some keywords to describe this book would be YA, fantasy, origin story, romance to a degree, maybe a little bit of mystery. Key themes, one theme that was definitely there was sort of the concept of fate versus free will. I can't find the page for it, but the quote is something along the lines of, "It is a dangerous thing to unbelieve something just because it frightens you." So. Book number 2 that I finished in this month was Takedown 20 by Janet Ivanovich. This book was pushed forward on my reading list because it is actually borrowed from a friend at work. Some keywords to describe this book would be crime, chick lit, maybe, I don't know if that's actually a term, but comedy and humour, mystery, some key themes. Really, this book doesn't have any key themes. That's not a key theme kind of book. This is less a quote and more of a passage to give you an idea of what these books are kind of about. So it says, "Lula swung the bag over her shoulder to take it for a test drive, and a giraffe loped past us." "I didn't see that," Lula said. "I didn't see that neither," Spit said. "Do you want to buy the handbag or what?" "That was a giraffe," I said. "It turned the corner at 16th Street. Probably going to the 7-Eleven, Spit said, to get a Slurpee." And that is literally it for the books that I finished. So now we're onto the bros section, and as usual I am drowning in bros because I just keep starting books and not finishing them. So what I'm going to do is just limit it to the books that I have started but not finished this particular month, and write the rest of them down below just cause. So the first book that I started but didn't quite finish, well, I say didn't quite. The first book that I started and also got nowhere near finishing this month is Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie, and I'm really enjoying it, but then I left it at home when I went to visit my family for Easter and only got it back yesterday, so I'm still where I was then. While I was waiting to get that book back, I also started but didn't finish The Hate You Give. I'm also really enjoying this. It's definitely a YA novel, and I am discovering that I'm not overly keen on YA writing. I think I'm starting to get a bit past it, but I'm really enjoying it and I love the precedent of it, and I think it's a very, very necessary book. So that's been really great, but I haven't finished that either. And of course, Milk and Honey. This is like the only book other than Heartless that was actually on my TBR list for this month, and I've read a few of these poems but not read all of them. So those are my bros from the specific month of April. The rest of the bros from so far this year will be listed down below just so that I'm keeping them in my mind and not forgetting them. So I can't really tell you the TBRs that I have for this specific month without first telling you the theme for this month, because they're very specifically linked. And I can't really tell you the theme for this month without first apologising profusely for how much of a flop Severus Snaperil was. And like, I filmed a lot of videos for this theme and then just didn't manage to get them edited and uploaded in time. So I might keep them and try and work them into a future month, or I might just try and do Snaperil again next year. And so many people seem to be excited about it, and I feel really bad about the fact that I just didn't manage to get any of the actual Severus Snape themed videos up. Anyway, so I'm very sorry about that. The theme for May is maybe you should actually do some reading instead of talking about reading, because I've noticed that I seem to be putting so much effort into making videos about reading and taking photos for Instagram about reading that I haven't actually done much reading. In particular, this ties into the fact that now I have like a massive circle of bros that are just closing in on me and making me feel kind of claustrophobic, and I want to start to check some of them off. So what I'm going to do here, instead of labeling specific TBRs for this month, is just show you the pile of books that I have that I've been waiting to finish, and I will read some of them this month. So first up, let me just say that The Midnight's Children and The Hate You Give and Milk and Honey will definitely be highest on my priority of books to finish in May, because of the fact that they're the ones that I have been reading in the last couple of weeks and that I want to finish. But this here is all of the books that I said at the start of the year that I haven't, like, that I've started but never actually finished. So hopefully I will read a couple of these this month, because I'm setting this month aside to start to check off some of those half-finished books from my list. So the first one is Perfume, The Story of a Murderer. This book is, like, the idea of it is amazing, and I genuinely, the only reason why I haven't finished it is probably because I read so few pages of it that I wasn't quite at that stage where I was hooked yet. So this is a guy that he's born with like superhuman sense of smell and can smell almost everything, and it enables him to become a really good perfume maker. But then what he kind of does is get infatuated with the scent of women, of particular women. Like, he'll pass a woman in the street and get infatuated with that smell and with trying to capture that scent in perfume. And I mean, the title is The Story of a Murderer, so he does murder some of those women. Book number 2 that I've started but never finished is one that I've talked about a few times, and that is Lolita. This is the book about the guy that is attracted to and infatuated with and falls in love with a prepubescent girl and marries a woman in order to try and get at this girl, and it's his story about trying to, like, struggling with those feelings that he has, knowing that they're wrong but still feeling this way, and his sort of the justification behind the things that he does and the way that he feels, which is a very confronting but kind of morbidly fascinating read. And I did actually get a fair way through it, and at the time in my life that I was reading this, it really wasn't a good idea for me to be reading this. Anyone who has watched my Get Ready With Me video will know that I was actually the victim of sexual harassment, so this felt very much too close to home for me and I couldn't handle it at the time, but I do want to read it, so maybe I'll pick that up this month. I feel like I'm starting to get to the stage where I might actually be able to handle reading this. So book number 3 on the list, and actually one that I think I will be definitely reading this month, is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. This is a historical fiction with a bit of an LGBTQIA+ twist, and this is a book that I've been talking about doing as a buddy read with Julia over at That Bookie, who is a wonderful, very sweet, friendly booktuber, and you should totally check her out. She has ordered the book, so I guess it just depends on when that book arrives and when we'll be starting it, but hopefully we'll be reading this book this month. Another book on my list is Steven Pinker's The Language Instinct. This is a book that I started reading because I studied linguistics at university, and it was really interesting and fascinating and also funny, but again, I didn't finish it because I was at uni at the time, and like I'd read it during the uni holidays and then I'd go back to uni and forget about it, and then I'd pick it up and read a couple more pages during uni holidays and then I'd forget about it, and I did that for like 3 years and I still haven't finished it. So another book is one from actually this year, which is The Good Immigrant, because I've just been picking away stories at it here and there when I have a spare moment, and I still haven't come anywhere near finishing it, so that should be up on my radar somewhere. So like I said, this isn't me actually giving you TBRs for this month so much as just showing you the books that have been in the back of my mind for a long time now because I haven't got around to finishing them, and I genuinely don't know what I feel like reading this month, so I'm going to just kind of see what happens. I have a few ideas for videos to make throughout the month as I decide what book to read, as well as part of my maybe you should do some reading theme, which I am really excited about. I have a lot of videos planned for that. It's gonna be lots of fun. Yes, I think that'll do. I think I will have bored you with a lot of books enough now, so I'm going to sign off. Have a chat to me down in the comments if you have read any of the books that I'm talking about now, and if you have any recommendations for ones that I should try and read this month. like which ones should be pushed higher up on the priority list. I'd love to hear if you think that there's a specific book there that I should really try and read within the next few weeks. Also, let me know what your TBRs are, because it's always exciting to talk about books. You know, listening to people talk about the books that they want to read really helps you get excited about the books that you want to read. Let me pick up my cup of tea. So let me know what you're reading down in the comments. Let's try and rev each other up for another month of reading. I will see you in some other video very shortly, I am sure. And until then, as always, stay classic. Something just fell off something. Let me pick up my cup of tea.